Mankind not allowed. Come closer, closer than that. Lower your breathing, slow it until you can hear it in your chest. Because some nights, the dark doesn't feel empty, it feels claimed. People have carried the same confession for a long time. They never write it down, they never say it loudly. They say it the way you admit something shameful, eyes shifting, voices thinning, hands tightening for no reason at all. The details never line up. The fear always does. They all say the same thing. Whatever it was, notice them first. 5 men learned that together. They were practical men, hard jokes, rough laughter, the kind of people who trust repetition more than instinct. Year after year, they returned to the same working ground, carving routine into the landscape. Over time, they built a shelter there, windowless, low, barely tall enough to stand upright inside, strong enough to keep the weather out. They never thought about what else it might keep in. That week, luck found them. Too much luck. Enough to soften their caution. Enough to make them believe they were owed something. One of them, Frederick, developed a pain in his jaw that wouldn't dull. Sharp, deep. It pulsed in time with his heartbeat. He wanted to leave early. The others didn't. They bargained. One more night. First light, they'd go. They reached the shelter at dusk and saw the mark near the door. A print pressed deep into the soil, too long, too clean, the edges sunk with a weight that felt deliberate. Someone laughed and said, "Bear?" Everyone wanted it to be a bear. Then Jonas spoke, quietly, about a sound he'd heard days earlier, a whistle. One clean note from the trees. He turned his head, nothing. Then the same whistle again, behind him. Same tone, same length, same pause between notes. Not the wind, a signal. He said it made him feel like the center of a conversation he wasn't invited into. Frederick swallowed and said, "I heard it too. I thought it was you." No one answered after that. No fire that night. They sealed the door early. Darkness pressed in, heavy and complete. Hunger crept up slowly, then the thought of water. Normally, a man would go alone. Tonight, no one wanted to be alone outside that door. Frederick and Hendrik took rifles and went together. The moon was thin, just enough light to betray movement. They hadn't gone far when Hendrik stopped. His rifle rose. Uphill between the trunks, something stood upright. Still, too still. Tall enough that their bodies understood danger before their minds could find language for it. Moonlight slid across its shoulders for half a breath, texture, mass. Then it withdrew behind a tree. Hendrik fired 3 times. Silence followed. Not startled silence. Waiting silence. Then a whistle cut the night. Close, confident. And the shape surged downhill with heavy speed, whistling again over its shoulder. Not at them. Calling something else. They ran. Inside, the door slammed shut. The others demanded answers, but only fragments came out. Then, nothing. A listening quiet that made the air feel thinner. Sleep came in pieces. The impact arrived in the dead middle of the night. Wood cracked. A plank tore loose and fell onto Hendrik's chest. He screamed, and the outside answered. Footsteps. Many of them, circling. Moonlight spilled through the new gap. One man pressed his eye to it. 3 upright figures stood 10 paces away, watching the shelter like it was a puzzle. Each held a stone the size of a skull. They weren't pacing, they weren't restless, they were waiting. One noticed the eye. It bent slightly. Then it threw. The rock hit with terrifying accuracy. Rifles came up. Shots cracked through the gap. But when they aimed again, nothing stood there. The whistling shifted to the walls they couldn't see. That was the terror. The sound moved. The intent did not. They struck the door next. The stones began again. Thud after thud, slow rhythmic counting. Hours passed. Then, quiet. This is the moment that stays. Because in that quiet, Frederick realized something worse than fear. They hadn't stopped to rest. They'd stopped to learn. And then a hand slid through the gap. Not fast. Not violent. Slow. Certain. Fingers explored once, found the axe handle leaning where it always leaned, and closed around it like the room had already been memorized. For one suspended second, no one breathed. Frederick lunged, twisted the axe, pinned it with his weight. The hand pulled back, strong, controlled, testing leverage, not strength. Claiming, not panicking. Hendrik fired. The hand released. Outside, whistling erupted, close, sharp, numerous, then withdrew all at once. Not panic, a decision. At dawn, they opened the door. Stones covered the ground. The walls were scored with deep gashes, long and deliberate, like signatures carved into wood. They didn't speak. They took only what they could carry and left without looking back. Even daylight felt watched. What followed didn't need witnesses or proof, only time and the courage to understand what people eventually dare to name: Bigfoot. And the worst part wasn't that it existed. The worst part was that it learned. So if you ever hear a whistle that comes from one side, then answers itself from another, don't search for the source. Listen for the pattern and ask yourself, very quietly, why it decided you were allowed to leave. The end.